What's up, Blockhead? So as you guys know, Harley-Davidson recently gave us an insight into a bunch of different bikes incoming 2019 through 2022, what they're planning on releasing, and they are branching out there quite a bit, which I absolutely love. There's some people out there that are against it, but in my opinion, I think they're moving in the right direction. In this video, we're doing a first look on one of these new bikes, which is the Streetfighter. Now, before we get too far into it, if you guys enjoy motorcycles, if you like motorcycle content, motovlogs, installs, reviews, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon as well so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Like I was saying, Harley-Davidson recently released 4 new models that they're going to be coming out with through 2022. We've got the Pan America, we've got the Streetfighter, the Livewire and EV line, and the Custom 1250. So previously, we looked at all of them kind of at a glance. I did make a video looking at the Pan America, so if you guys want to go check that out, check out the link down in the description after this video. In this one, we're going to be going over the Streetfighter, looking at what information we do have on it, and checking out some photos, and speculating kind of what's going to be done. So if we click through to Harley-Davidson's page, what it says is plan for 2020, the future Streetfighter model. Now this is way out there for Harley-Davidson. It is basically a naked sport bike. So it says expanding our line of middleweight models is the first Harley-Davidson Streetfighter motorcycle that is planned for 2020. Unapologetic modern style with enough performance and agility to carve through city streets. Subtext says prototype model shown, production model features will vary, and also not available for sale. So I know the comments that this video is going to get regarding having a Streetfighter or a Harley-Davidson style sport bike. Everybody's going to comment, Buell, 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 right? I can guarantee it. And Buell was around for a long time. The engineering behind those bikes was great. I've actually never ridden one. I've heard an absolute ton about them. Would love to ride one and try it out. I've seen them on the track. They sound gnarly. That's not what this video is about. I'm not going to be talking about Buell. We'll do that in a later video. In this one, we're specifically looking at what we can find out, what we can see just by the pictures, what info we have received about the Harley-Davidson Streetfighter. So if you guys haven't watched that last video, we did confirm that this is going to be a brand new platform. The engine, brand new platform for Harley-Davidson. It is not a revamped V-Rod engine, as confirmed by the interns.
Is a 1250cc an offshoot of the V-Rod engine? I can tell you this, it's a brand new platform.
Brand spanking.
It is going to be liquid cooled, dual overhead cam V-twin. The Streetfighter they're releasing is going to be 975 cc's, so it's going to be right at a liter bike. Now this bike, like I keep on saying, it's very different for Harley, but Harley is looking to, expand their range and bring in younger riders. So younger riders traditionally attracted to sportier bikes. So this, it's going to be aimed at that audience. It would basically appeal to the audience that's interested in, like, say, a Ducati Monster, some of the other Ducatis, or like the Triumph Speed Triples. Now the engine is modular, like I said, brand new platform. It is water cooled, as you guys can see by the big coolant lines coming from the radiator in the front. It's going to be water cooled across all the different lines from 500cc to 1250cc. Like I said, it's going to be a modular engine, and they're basically going to take that engine and put it into different frames. They'll also have different swing arms, different front ends, so it's modular, so it sounds like you're going to be able to take multiple bikes, swap out parts. In addition, Harley's also pairing them up with Showa suspension, Brembo monoblock brakes, Michelin tires, and they're going to be really revamping or integrating a lot of electronics into these bikes. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of details. Via a few articles, they're expecting lean angle sensitive traction control, cornering ABS, and adjustable rider modes. I would really hope they have adjustable rider modes because, pretty much any other bikes that are like this have different rider modes. So looking at the picture that they've given us, we've got obviously V-twin, dual exhaust going into single, so 2-to-1 exhaust. We have a big front radiator with, like I said, the coolant lines coming out of it, going to the engine. We have dual front disc brakes, which are Brembo once again. So quality brakes, I mean, that's awesome. Brembo brakes on a Harley, I love it. We have your traditional rear sets. We also have some passenger pegs. Now the angle at which this photo is taken, we can't really see the other side to see if it's chain drive or belt drive. I'd be really curious as to what they went with on this. I know on the Pan America, ADV, they went chain drive, but that makes sense since that bike's going to be going off-road, and you don't want to get a rock between the belt and the pulley because belts snap. But this, it's more of a street bike, so are they sticking with belt like they traditionally do with Harley, or are they going chain? One thing I do always love about whenever they advertise bikes like this is they don't actually show it with a fender underneath. So I will guarantee you that the look on this thing is probably going to change. Basically, the way this is set up is usually for track. There's no, rear fender. There's no spot for your license plate. There's no indicators on the back. If there are, they'd be integrated into the tail. You do have to have all those things to have a motorcycle be street legal. So I would bet they're going to have a fender that comes out of that, like on other sport bikes. And the most common and first modification that any sport bike owner does is a Fender Eliminator Kit and an integrated LED taillight. It has the stoplight plus the signals all within that. Usually with sport bikes as well, you've got some sort of storage in that little trunk area, but just from the pictures here, I don't know if you're really going to have that. I can't really tell. Looking up front more towards the handlebars, it does look like it has bar and mirrors on it, which is cool. So they're not going to be coming out of the clamp. They're not going to share or like bolt to where the reservoir does. It looks like you've got a gauge mounted pretty low and forward, a single round headlight in the front. I know they were talking about the new TFT, color displays, so I don't know if this would be a bike that would qualify for that, but I know that is something they're talking about putting on bikes in the future. Speaking of that rear fender, so going through and looking at some of the footage from Harley-Davidson, if we scrub through it and look at it frame by frame, you've got a picture here where a guy's working on I don't know, what is that, like a Wacom tablet or whatever, and shows kind of the lines of the bike, and you can see that rear fender piece that I was talking about coming down off of that tail section of the bike. From this picture here, it looks like they are in some kind of audio controlled room. I mean, there is an absolute ton of microphones surrounding this thing. It is clearly a room that has been set up for audio recording based on all the diffusing panels and stuff on the walls. And then obviously the dyno in the center, which you guys can see as it starts to pull, the dyno built into the floor, which is just awesome. Really love this room, Harley-Davidson. I would love to see it someday. That is a cool room. I'd be really interested to see what numbers they're coming up with in terms of, horsepower off of the dyno. Next screen here looks like it shows a couple of variations. They basically molded the bike. So we've got a sketch concept in the background and then the actual mold in the foreground. Additionally, above the sketch to the upper left there, I'll kind of zoom in on it here. You can see it looks like the Streetfighter, but a little bit different. The seating is different. It also has a little front fairing piece on it. The exhaust runs differently as well, and it comes out of like a little side fairing piece, it looks like also. Another cool thing to notice in this photo is the exhaust in the sketch, like I said in the background, that has a Screamin' Eagle logo on it. So that is definitely different to see like a sport bike exhaust, but with a Screamin' Eagle logo. That's pretty cool. If we look at this screen, you can kind of see where the filter is, the air cleaner for the intake. We also have, it looks like on the left side there, some kind of outlines of the seat maybe. And then here on the right side, we've got a couple of notes. It says 4 muffler, never geometry something, 01. 5 says new brackets design. And 6 says shields, question mark. Too big. Love this. I absolutely love being able to go through and look at this stuff and see the notes. That's cool. Thank you for sharing this with us, Harley. Greatly appreciated. This is the sketch that I was talking about being in the background. Absolutely wicked. You can kind of see on the tail section here where they would have that little rear fender. Looks like they've got a little carbon fiber tailpiece, carbon fiber underbelly pan as well. The exhaust runs a little bit differently. Love how the air cleaner sets, under the tank there. Doesn't look like it'd be such a big tank. I'm kind of wondering what the capacity would be if it came out anything like that. But I absolutely love that concept. That sketch concept is amazing. I would ride that bike. I would buy that bike. That thing looks sick. Looking at this next little screen grab here, we have a couple of more notes. It looks like a circle around part of the rear swing arm or little tire hugger. Says mounting and features to be added, maybe. Moved further to get flush with swing arm. Detail just to explain surface change. And please assemble rear turn signals. So if that's where the signals are going to go, it looks like they're going to be very close to the plate. You've basically got this piece that comes off of the swing arm that kind of hugs the rear part of the tire. So it's like a rear tire hugger. In this screenshot, it looks like we've got a focus on the underbelly piece, the belly pan, I think is what they call it with sport bikes. The exhaust, some kind of diagram with different colors showing everything. I'm sure the engineers know what all that means. And then we have somebody working here on the computer with the bike in a 3D software, kind of rotating it around looking. And then the final screen here says lean, nimble, new models for more types of riders. And then it goes on to looking at the custom 1250. So yeah, that's the information we have thus far on it. Y'all be sure to drop your thoughts on this bike down in the comments below. I'd be really curious as to what people are thinking about it, you know, what the general impressions are. I guess just to give you my initial thoughts, I absolutely love it. Previously, in addition to Harley-Davidsons, you know, and cruisers, I've owned a Yamaha R6, I owned a CBR 1000RR, so I am a fan of sport bikes. So to see Harley-Davidson doing something like this, to me, that's pretty awesome. Like I said in a couple of my previous videos, there are going to be those people out there that are resistant to change. And for you guys, they're not going to be doing away with their old lineup. You know, they're not strictly going to, you know, these style of bikes. They're branching out and offering more to people out there than just cruisers. So if you like cruisers, buy cruisers. But if you want to buy Harley-Davidson and you also like more than just cruisers, which I would say a majority of us out there do, then they're giving us a selection to be able to continue to support a brand that we enjoy and finally have a selection of bikes from that brand that we enjoy. So, you know, it's not just going to be, all right, we're looking at Harley-Davidson for a Sportster or a Dyna or a long-range touring bagger. You know, now we can look towards Harley-Davidson and we're going to be like, all right, they're coming out with the electric lines, you know, like the Livewire, or they're coming out with sport lines, like the Streetfighter here, which is, you know, like I said, naked sport bike, or the Adventure line with a Pan America ADV. So I think it's a smart move for Harley-Davidson to be branching out. Like I said, they're going to be able to attract more riders, different types of riders. So once again, thumbs up, fist bump to Harley-Davidson. Good job, guys. But yeah, that's the, I guess, first look at this bike. Like I said, you guys drop your thoughts and comments down below. If I missed anything, you guys feel free to post it up. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you're not subscribed already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. Hit that bell icon so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. And until next time, you guys ride safe out there, stay vigilant, and I'll catch y'all later.